Hi y'all, this is Regina from Regina's Crafting and More. I have been helping a lady named Terry with a decorative fill. This is a tulip. At one point it was called Tulip Circle, and it has a star in the center. This is the full tulip in the PE design. I'm going to close these down, shut these. Well, hello, come on. In the programmable stitch creator. If some of you have to go into the apps, let me go to palette 11, and it's the same in PE design. Okay, so in palette or PE design, it's the programmable stitch creator. Alright, so let me get back over to it. Alright, so this is as big as it can go. This is a 4x4 setting right here in this page. Now what I like to do is once I get this and I check it in my layout and editing, this shows me there is one jump, if you will. This is where the needle starts and it goes up here to start. There are no more cuts and jumps in this design. So let me show you. Let me let it go. Let me let it stitch out. And you can see that it is a continuous stitch. It does not stop and cut and jump to another section to get it to stitch. This continues all the way around until it's stitched the whole thing. And this little dotted line is just where the needle goes up and starts. Alright, so you can see it going all the way around, and I already see an issue right there where the lines cross that I need to fix. Alright, so there it is. So this is set at 2.3. So when you first bring it in, it's set at 4.0, I think. And this would be what it would look like. So up here in your sewing attributes, you would need to change the size. I changed it to 2.5. I usually do that. And if it's still too big, it doesn't fit, I just start clicking down on it. Go 10 clicks to see how it fits. Okay, so let's go 10 more. We'll go down to 35 first. Still not quite. I don't like to have the edges cut off, so let's go to 32.30, and that fits perfect. Okay, so right there, that's 2.3. Now that's the whole design, okay, that I've made smaller. So let's go back over to the design itself, and let me see if I can find where that is not touching, and I don't see anything. Let me go up here and get the magnifying glass and just look around. Alright, so everything's fine there. Let me scoot over. That's fine. That's fine. Let me go back over here for a minute and see what that is on the edge, it looks like. But it's just on the very edges over here. So I think that's the automatic stitch that the software adds, because I'm not seeing any points out of whack. Scroll up, those are okay, and that's where it would come into play. Maybe it's just not quite to the edge. Let me pull it out and do a file save. So let me bring this in. Once you do a file save and you want to see if your changes had any effect, you bring it back in. So I'm going to highlight that, change it back to 2.3, and well, okay, so that's what it was. I just had to pull it all the way to the edge, and I don't see. Let me just click here. So I'm back in Programmable Stitch Creator, and that's all the way at the edge. Matter of fact, I'm going to do it just like this. Let me draw a line and make sure that these are in the same position. Okay, so to draw a line, you would click out here. You would click out here in your, I think my video software is cutting it off, but right out here in the edge, you could draw a line. So let's see if that's right on the line. And it isn't. All right, so let's click here and bring this line right on that line. File, save, and I'm going to Alt-Tab because I have my layout and editing open. And if you hold the Alt button and tap the Tab button, you can go from one window to the next. Tap, tap, tap. Now if you hold the tap button down, that's what happens. So it's just a tap on the Tab button. Alright, so let's bring this back in, say OK. We're going to change it to 2.30 on the keyboard, and now everything is copacetic. Looks good. Okay, so what I wanted to show you was one thing that I like to do when I'm doing programmable fields is, yeah, you can create this whole design and get this type of effect. And if I changed it to 1.50, that's what it would look like. But what if we took this and minimized it? So let's draw a line there, that guideline, and we're going to put a guideline there, and I'm going to select the entire design by using my arrow key and drawing around. You know, click down on your arrow on your left mouse button and draw around, and you get your handles. Okay, so now I'm going to hold my shift key down and click my left mouse button and go in with this because I want it to fit up here. So it's still just a little bit too big, so I'm going to make it a little smaller, and I'm going to bring it back up in here. Alright, so let's zoom in, and I want to zoom in on just this section, and it looks like it's right on. This needs to go in just a tad. See how this goes over this middle line? So I'm going to go in just a little bit. You see how that line changed? That blue line? It's right there. You have to go real slow. Alright, so that looks good. Let me go back full screen. So this is your zoom in, and you zoom in. Okay, this is your zoom out, and you click out. This takes you to full screen. Alright, so I'm going to highlight this section, hold my let's click right here and go copy, and then we're going to paste. And then we're going to put the mouse button till you get that double white arrows like that. And I'm going to drag it over here. Okay, so it's still just a little too big, so I'm going to move it right there so that these points are just barely touching. Let me zoom in so you can see. So let's see, let me select all of this one. And let me move this over just a tad. Okay, so that looks like those are touching. Alright, so I'm going to go all the way out. I'm going to select these two. I'm going to click up here at the top, copy, and then paste. And don't click anywhere else. Get your double white arrows and move that down. Now you see how those are a little too big? So I'm going to grab right here and left mouse click and go down until it looks like it's right on the point, and I think that's it. So let's look. Okay, so we need to grab the one at the top. Get your arrow key, grab this one and highlight it. Let's zoom back in. Okay, now we got to zoom back out, sorry. Alright, so we're going to put the arrow key right here to get that double little arrow and press down on the left mouse button and push that up just a little bit. Now see how those points look now? Alright, so now we have 4 tulips together. So now I want to save it, and I'm going to go save as, and I've got it as 0, whoops, default size is inches 4, okay, and I'm going to save it as 0 dash this, and I'm going to put a B after it because the first one would have been A, or let's just call it number 2. Okay. All right. So now I have this where it's 4 in a 4x4 hoop. So let's go back over using pressing the Alt button down on your keyboard and tapping the Tab button. Okay. Press down on Alt and tap the Tab and go back to Layout and Editing. So you see how when I hit Tab, it highlights around that window and it highlights around that. So we want to go to Layout and Editing, let go with the Alt button. Now I want to go back up here under your sewing attributes and click this one. This is the original, and we're going to click this one and say OK. So now I have 4. So let's make this, let's go up and change the size to 3.0. And I have maintain aspect ratio. So now you see how it changes. If I was to change it to 2.50, that's what it would look like. So I could keep going down back to like 2.30, let's say. And that puts it, let's see, if I go, let's take the maintain aspect ratio off a little bit. And let's make it a little taller. And see if we can get rid of this up here and down at the bottom. So we're going to keep going a few notches at a time. And a couple more. And a couple more. And that gets all, still have remnants right here. So I'm going to go one more. Okay, so see how that has the whole tulip in my stitching area? Okay, so that's how you can change the look of your design. So that's using the 4 tulips together at 2.30. So I'm going to open another window of palette 11. I have window on my, I have palette 11 or PE Design 11 on my taskbar. You can use PE Design or palette 11. I'm going to click that little flower, right click and say I want to open palette version 11, and it's going to give me another window. So the reason I'm doing this, let's see, what is this one? Yeah. So the reason I'm doing this, let's make it full window, is because I want to show you the difference. Okay, we're going to get rid of, put a no sew there, and we're going to click up here and go to Decorative Fill, and I'm going to draw a box just like in the other version, in the other window that I have. And I'm going to go over here to Sewing Attributes on the right, click there, and I want to take the full, remember on this window we're using the 4 at 2.3, and I'm going to take this one and say OK, and I'm going to set it at 2.30, and I'm going to click Maintain Aspect Ratio, and let me change the color so it can be seen. Alright, so that's 2.30 on this one, the single tulip in the 4x4 workspace, okay? And then this one is the 4 tulips set at 2.30 and 2.50, so that we have all the tulips showing and not remnants of the top of the tulips. Okay, so in order to get this the same size, we're going to change it to 2.0, I think. Let's set it there and see how that looks. So that's 2.0. So let's try 1.80. And then let's try 1.75 and see how about 1.70. And let's go a couple clicks down. And see, on this one, you wouldn't be able to fit all of it in. It's about halfway, all right, showing here. If you wanted it to be exactly on the outside, you would unclick Maintain Aspect Ratio and then make this part a little bigger. So let's go up to 75, 1.75. And it goes about halfway. So you see how I size that? So this is the 1 tulip, and this is the 4 tulips. So if I change this to a 1.75 and click Maintain Aspect Ratio, let it reset, that's what it would look like at 1.75. I'm going to hit undo and see if it'll go back to undo. Undo again. And there we go. That's what we were at just a little while ago. Remember, we had the 2.50. We took the Maintain Aspect Ratio, we unchecked it and changed it to 2.50. So there is the same design, with the exception of this one has the 4, this one has just the single tulip design that we created in Programmable Stitch Creator. So I'm going to open that up just to remind you. This one is this. Okay, so that's how you can play with your Programmable Stitch Creators. I hope this was informative and you enjoy this little quick lesson. And I'd love to see what kind of designs you create. You can join my group and post them in my group. You can post pictures. So let me go over that real quick. So if you wanted to post a picture, if you're using Windows 10, you have a little icon called a snipping tool, and it might be in your Windows app. Let's see here. If I scroll down to Windows, I just put a, let's see, Windows Tools, snipping app. You might have to just type it in your help and get your snipping tool. But when you click that snipping tool, you click New, or you could take a picture with your camera and you go around your design, and then it says, what do you want to do with it? Well, I want to save it. So I would save this in a file where I knew it was, and in this one I'm going to put it in Terry Click, and it already has a name, so I'm just going to hit save. Save, there it goes. All right, so anyhow, that's how you can take a picture, or you can take a picture with your phone of your screen, and let's see what you do. I'd appreciate it. All right, y'all have a good one. Enjoy.